Hey everybody, thanks for pressing play. I'm Jesse, you're watching JL's Comics, and today we're going to be talking about Maze Runner, The Death Cure. I managed to see it last night at the AMC Theater in the giant IMAX. It was great. I was perfectly centered for my field of vision, and it was just a great spot to be in for this movie. So that was very exciting. But what did I think of it? That's coming right. Today I'm going to tell you what I thought of the movie. At the end I'll give you a rating on a 5-point scale. But first a little bit of backstory about this. This is a third part of a trilogy. There was the Maze Runner, Maze Runner Scorch Trials, and finally Maze Runner The Death Cure. It is a novel adaptation, the YA genre they call it, in the same line as the Hunger Games and Allegiant, for example. And this movie was massively delayed. The main actor, Dylan O'Brien, was severely injured while the film was in pre-production, I believe even into filming, and he almost died, and they had to push it off. So this movie was delayed. It was pushed out a year. It was supposed to come out in February, and then at the end of last year, they brought it up 2 weeks to where it came out this weekend. Do you need to see the other films? It will help you massively. The story is carried all the way through. They do reference back to things. However, it's not an absolute requirement. They do do a fairly good job of explaining why they're where they're at and their motivations for that and who these people are without diving into it too heavily. Now the movie clocks in at just under 2.5 hours. It does feel kind of long. There is the traditional beginning, middle, and then the third act conclusion, and then you get multiple what they call a denouement. It's kind of the wrap up after the big final scenes, like the big conclusion to the main story. If we're talking about the main story, there's two things happening with this movie. There is the race to find the cure and save humanity, and there is the race to save a friend or two of theirs. And it seems like the race to save their friends takes the main stage. Saving humanity and saving the world is kind of the beta story to this. It kind of feels like I wish there's a little bit more balance with those two stories, because obviously saving humanity and mankind is very important considering where they are. The story, just some setup for it, it takes place in a dystopian future, apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic that is. There was a massive solar flare that wiped out most of the Earth, and that solar flare triggered a pandemic virus called the Flare. It's basically turned people into zombies. They find that some of the teenagers are immune to it, so they round up the teenagers, they put them through these series of tests. First one was a maze, just to kind of trigger something. I guess it's in their adrenal glands, a secretion that they can extract and use as part of a cure or experimentation for a cure. The tests are run by a company called Wicked. It's the World Catastrophe Kill Zone Department. It's in the books. It's the World in Catastrophe Kill Zone Experiment Department. So they truncate it a little bit for the movie. It's Wicked. Obvious analogy that it's the villain. One of the best things about this movie is the action. It opens up with this super cool train chase scene that's equal part Fast and the Furious and equal parts Mad Max. And this movie nearly doubles the budget of the first movie, and you can tell, and I really think that they put most of that budget into the battles, into the pyrotechnics and explosions, and the fight scenes, because they're awesome. They're really cool, and that kind of puts this up as one of my favorites, because if you like that type of thing, you're gonna love this. Especially in the IMAX, you could really almost like feel the explosions that were coming out around you. The giant battle, some of the chase scenes, fighting the tunnel. It was really cool, really well done. I would like it to have been a bit shorter, though. It did feel like there were a couple perfect points for it to wrap up, and then it would continue with another wrap-up piece. Overall, if you like this series, if you like this genre, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's one of the better installments, probably my favorite, second favorite, Maze Runner, the first one being the best of this three-parter. And the main actor, Dylan O'Brien, is definitely one to watch. I believe he's going to be a future action star, good actor. There were some people who were definitely stronger in their acting than others on the cast, but it did have an all-star cast. Aidan Gillen was in it, right off the heels of his Littlefinger, Game of Thrones, Peter Baelish role. Giancarlo Esposito was in here, Walter Goggins, and a whole slew of people. There were some cool twists, some cool surprise people that you didn't expect. So it definitely, even though it's long, it kept me entertained all the way through. So what do I give the movie? I will give it a nice solid 3.5 out of 5. Definitely, like I said, if you like this genre, go check it out. But I would recommend watching the first two first, just to brush up on the story. Let me know what you thought down below. Comments, if you like this, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to see more content like this, definitely that will tell me that I should be doing more movie reviews, film, TV reviews. It's fun for me to do that. So that's it. This is Jesse with JLS Comics, and this has been a review of Maze Runner: The